Like, why you gotta be?
Listen to me.
Same stuff.
Listen to me. I'll work with you, okay? Like driving on suspension is not the end of the world.
I know, but I can't afford another ticket, though.
I understand it. I'm not saying I was gonna give you a ticket, but when I asked you out of the car and you're not going,
I don't got nothing on me.
Okay, and you're not saying you're gonna get out. You're making it a hassle. But listen, but then by not getting out of the car, I could tell you're under arrest. So step on out of the car.
Bro, I gotta keep stepping out. Like,
you got nothing on you, man.
Yeah, I know I'm allowed to deny you touching me too. I'm not.
Step over here.
Stop. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta do that.
Here, let go.
Stop. This is my phone. Hold on.
Put it on.
Hold on, though. Put it on. Arrest me, though. You put me. I don't have to go on handcuffs.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Last time I got arrested, I don't gotta go on handcuffs. All right, I don't gotta go on handcuffs.
Relax. Bro. Listen.
You're not putting me. I'm not in no type of custody.
I'm gonna pat you down.
All right, I'll do that with my hands.
Put your hands up.
I don't go on no handcuffs. Though.
Walk back here.
Why you just trying to put me in? I don't gotta go on handcuffs.
Listen, you don't listen to me.
I'm just talking.
You don't listen.
Last time I
listen. You're under suspension as a driver. No, that's an arrestable offense.
I don't have to get in the back car and do none of that,
dude.
No. Man,
right now.
All right.
Sit down. All right. Get up. Roll the f*** over. Get over.
Damn, get on my
over. Roll the f*** over.
Damn, bro. Why don't you just tase me, bro?
Put your hands.
Damn, that shit hurt.
Stop.
I don't have to go in handcuffs,
yes,
man.
I'm gonna. Stop. Put your hands behind your back.
All right.
Put your hands behind your back. Shut up.
Damn, you beat my ass. I can't even fight you, bro. I'm sorry. Damn. Why you just beat my ass?
26.
What the f***?
Shut the f*** up.
Damn, man, that's f***ed up.
Start me.
Why you just do me like that?
32 and a supervisor.
Why the f*** did you just do me like that, bro? I didn't do nothing to you, sir.
Why'd you run?
Cause you scaring it. Bro, I don't go to jail, bro. Every time I get pulled over, they don't do nothing to me.
Shut up.
I never had to get in the car or nothing.
Welcome back, my PBM family. Welcome back. It's another episode of Old School Cops. It's me and my boy Shane as myself. As you know it, you guys send me videos and we give assessment. What qualifies us to give these assessments? About many years in law enforcement. Myself, I went into patrol as a police officer, then quickly went over to attack unit. Once in the attack unit, then I went to undercover school. Rather, I got an undercover school. They sent me over to narcotics, where I worked a lot of undercover assignment. I was also vice president of a police union. I was also on a federal task force. I was one of a few officers that got to actually have federal cases and testify in federal court. Had a case go all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the justices said, in the write-up, now officer said knows what he's talking about. So we do know a little bit about policing. My co-host, another really good guy with a lot of experience. He was a sergeant. He was a SWAT commander. He was a firearm instructor. If you know anything about Atlanta, the Red Dogs, another street enforcement tactical unit. He was one of the Red Dog units that went out and they really kicked butt. It was so good. They had specials on A&E, on all these networks talking about how great this unit was. So you have a wealth of experience here that's giving you these assessments. We look at this assessment here and we look at it as giving education, not only to the community on how to survive an encounter with law enforcement, but on officers. Like, listen, this one right here, I get the atmosphere that we're in, right? Officers are trying to, a lot of officers, regardless of what we see on the street, because we only see the negative part of policing on the street. There's a lot more good being done versus bad. It's like in a Black community, right? You only hear about the very small percent of arrests being done towards 44 plus millions of Blacks. But if you listen to certain networks, they think they'll have you believing that Blacks commit more than half of the crimes when they only 14% of the population. That is so not true. That is not a true stat. They play with the numbers game. This particular incident, right? We look at an officer, he made a traffic stop. He identified where the subject was driving on a suspended license. Most jurisdictions, this particular offense is arrestable or is up to the officer. He can release him on a summons. I like the communication that the officer made. He made real good communication. He kept trying to de-escalate. But officers, listen, you got to be able to read body language, read the room, read the suspect. I had situations like this happen numerous of times. He gave indicators, I can't do this, I can't do that. To me, he was more or less going in that fight or flight kind of mode. So if you're going to take him out the car and do a pat down, sweep, whatever you need to do is once you get him to come out that car, you take control over him real quick. He had his hands behind his back. The kid had his phone in his hand. He was trying to cuff him. The kid started saying, oh, no, because he wanted to take the phone. They got into a back and forth about the phone. The guy's still not cuffed. He's still not secure. Why were you worried so much about this phone? Cuff him, pat him down, take the phone, do whatever you got to do. You got to make the scene safe. Citizens, right? Let me tell you something, right? Officers use deadly force, and they just about to use deadly force when they can make the strong argument that safety is in at the utmost risk of there's something that's dangerous about to happen to the officer. To take that away, to take that argument away, if you're going to get in these type of situations, do the pat down. Let them pat you down. Take away that fear. Once officers start feeling fear, bad things happen. We know that courts have given officers a lot of leeway when it comes down to their safety and when they fear something. So it'd be even me now, right? If I come in contact, and I have come in contact with officers, I don't say, yo, I'm a retired cop, I'm on the job. I don't do that. I haven't done that in a really long time because I want to see exactly how I can read this officer, how I can help the situation by educating them. I've done that many a times. First thing I go, go ahead, pat me down. Before we start talking, pat me down. Because I can feel right now you with your hand on your gun, you feeling a little shaky. I need to make you feel comfortable by taking away that fear. So if you pat me down, not knowing I have a gun or any weapons that can hurt you, now I can have a real conversation with you and I can tell you how I dislike or what I dislike or what I like about the conversation. So you won't be feeling like, yo, this person has a gun or has some type of weapon that'll hurt me. So I quickly, even when I'm getting stopped, I put the dome light on, roll all the windows so the officer can see inside the car. I'm quickly trying to take that fear argument away by taking away the fear. A lot of people like to talk. A lot of people like to express how they feel about that encounter. If you are one of those people, before you start doing that, take away the fear of the officer because you will lose on the side of the road trying to argue that. Don't fight anything on the side of the road. Take your argument to the courts because that's where you're winning. You're not winning on the side of the road. Getting back to this assessment, officer did really well until he got him out the car. He started arguing with him about the phone in his hand, which led up to the subject taking flight. Then he had to use more force. He could have killed all that. He could have killed all that if once he got him out, maintain control. They teach you that in the academy. Control, 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 control. He lost control once he let the subject dictate the phone being in his hand. He was walking him to the car. He wanted to put him in the back seat. What you doing, guy? You pull him out the car. You can arrest him or you can give him summons. You wasn't getting a whole lot of cooperation, right? So cuff him, pat him down. He could have had a weapon on him. You would have never known that. And you did a lot of back and forth. So for the officers out there, right? It's good you try to de-escalate. It's good that I love the fact that he was engaged in a back and forth conversation with him. But don't compromise your safety trying to de-escalate. Make sure you're safe before you do that. And this is for the citizens. Yo, make sure, right, that you're in a position where you can voice your opinion without the officer feeling like, yo, you might have a weapon, you might not. Take that danger away. So for the officer, yo, I give him, I want to give him an F. I really do. But because the way it turned out, nobody got hurt. I'll give him a D. I give him a D because it could have really went bad. It could have really got bad. I like the fact that he was trying, but I don't like the fact that he tried too much to where he compromised the safety and the guy had a weapon. It could have went real bad either for the subject or for the officer. And your job as the officer is to not only make sure you get home, you're responsible for that guy once you stop his freedom. You're responsible for that. So if he did have a weapon, right, and you didn't maintain control and get that weapon, he could have got, when these guys get in that fight or flight mode, they do crazy things. And all of a sudden, the gun drop out. He could have actually tried to throw the gun away. And then now, all of a sudden, you got to use deadly force. A lot of things could have happened because you didn't maintain that control. So make sure you're safe. Make sure that that individual you're dealing with is safe. And when it's time to make sure you making sure everybody's safe, do that. Don't let them dictate how you're going to make the scene safe.
I tell you, Joe, that was a great soliloquy. That's a great synopsis, a great breakdown. I like quite a few things that you said. I know for one, it seemed like the officer maybe could have been new. I like the fact, as you mentioned, him trying to de-escalate and trying to bring things down. But when it came to a point where there's a verbal back and forth, you have to immediately take the subject out the car and put the cuffs on. I know for me, I've had many stops with a suspended license, Georgia Code 40-15-121. The moment you stop, like, sir, you know your license suspended, step out the car. As soon as he stepped out the car, cuff. Cuffs would have been on. Then I would have pat him down. Then I would have proceeded to talk to him. And based on our interaction there, again, it's our discretion. You either write a ticket for him, a summons, a desk ticket, or call the bus to come get his car towed because you're driving illegally. I agree with your assessment of giving him a D because it could have got out of hand. If you notice, the guy ran, he had to pull out the taser and still had to take him. When he tased him, he still was taking him down and kind of rough with him. An academy teaches you body language. You got to read the room, so to speak. The moment you see a subject start to resist, they start to counterpoint, turn to the side, start fidgeting, those are all signs that you're going to have a fight, a potential fight in your hands. So the key is to gain control immediately with the subject, because as you said, we're concerned about officer safety. We also concerned about the subject's safety that's there also. The goal is to get everyone home safely. And I think you broke it down real nicely. And then also touch on the point you mentioned, Joe, as far as civilians or citizens. Me being an ex-officer, I do the same thing. The moment I have a stop, I roll down all my windows, the dome lights on, I take my key out the car, I put it on the hood. I had many cops stop. Wait a second. I said, sir, I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel safe. I'm not a flight. I'm not a threat to you at all. And I put my hand on the steering wheel. Stay right there. Would you like me to take it off, officer? Would you allow me to reach for my driver's license and registration? And then they're at ease, so forth. And many times we get a chance of talking. Hey, I'm an ex-police officer, so-and-so. Then I kind of bring everything down. But the first thing to do, the moment you get stopped, it's no problem, no big deal. Put your hands out the window, turn the car off, roll the windows down, turn the dome light off. He can never say, I fear for my life, because we hear that a lot of times. I fear for my safety. The moment you put that officer at ease, guess what? Now you put the ball in your court. You just escalated everything. And now the officer's like, okay, you know what, this guy's good. And many times, 9 times out of 10, they'll probably just give you a warning, just based off your attitude. You know, the famous saying, you get more bees with honey than with vinegar. So you have that right approach. Guess what? You're going to get home safe, and you might just get out of ticket and just get a warning. So, Joe, I think you brought a very good synopsis to this scenario here. I wish the officer could do better. Maybe after seeing this video, he may go back to in-service or some further training, because it could be an issue later on if he has a partner with him on patrol. You can not only jeopardize himself, you also could jeopardize his partner. So I think that was an excellent breakdown, Joe.
All right, and just to add a little bit for my audience, because we're always trying to educate you guys, right? We want you guys to make it home safe. A lot of people believe, right? They want to argue the validation of the stop right then and there.
Right.
You're not going to win that. I've never seen anybody win an argument on the stop, right? But if you feel like you want to, like in baseball, where the umpire gets thrown out, he still wants to verbally give his dissatisfaction, right? Listen, you got to have tough skin as a cop, right? But if you're going to do that, right, I advise you not to. But if you're going to do that, right, you do it after you gave your ID. You do it after you get the ticket. You don't want to do it before you get the ticket because you don't know if you're getting a ticket or not. Why do it before? Because you might be getting a break, and because you start arguing with the guy, I've seen this 100 times, backing up other officers. I wasn't going to give him a ticket. I was going to give him a warning. But since you want to act like a jerk, I'm going to give him a ticket. Don't do that. You know when you You do it when you come back, you sign up for the ticket, say, I know you right now, I need to find it for court, but you're lying. I got my video, I was doing it, I will see you in court. And then you go, once you have all your evidence, after your court date, you go down to the precinct, you file a complaint. And that's where you are so much effective when you could go down to the precinct, file a complaint, and show I was in court. I proved that the officer lied. He didn't know what he was doing. And I'm going to file my complaint this way. It's so much more effective doing it that way than getting on the side of the road. I didn't do it. I ain't do it. I'm not giving you my license. No, you're lying. Don't do it that way.
Exactly.
You lose doing it that way.
But Joe, you touched on another point. We'll give you another insider. A lot of police officers just got to show, it's called activity. It's your officer's discretion to either write a ticket or give you a warning. The goal is to get a warning. Say what you want to say, but it's how you say it. And again, a lot of times your approach dictates what's going on. A lot of times officers ain't perfect. They make mistake. Sad to say, some of them had a bad day. They may take it out on drive, but in your response, a lot of times how you respond. I know for myself, I wrote a lot of warnings. I just had to show that I was active. I was out there. I was stopping people. I was doing this, that, and the other. I honestly very rarely wrote tickets. I gave warnings and I gave you a break, So it's all how you address the officer, how you approach. And a lot of times, again, sometimes you could be in the right, but it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And as my partner mentioned earlier, being on the side of the road is not the time to fight. Fight it out in court. Get home safe, get to your family safe, and then we'll handle the matter another way in the court system.
And that's our assessment for this video. Like always, we want you guys to make it home safe. The platform is all about educating and giving you the insight from guys from the inside so you can understand when you come in contact with the police on how to deal with it. It's always how to survive an encounter when you're dealing with the police. And we're here for you to do that. Keep sending the videos and please stay safe and make it home. See you next time.
Next time.